So, you know, with this COVID-19 and us being in, and so many people unable to do what they normally do on a Sunday morning, and that is to attend a religious service. A lot of ministers and around the city are doing what we're doing. They're finding new approaches to reach their congregations. So I'm so happy to have several of them with us this morning. And first, we're going to start with our very own, Lyndia Grant, who writes a weekly column and has been doing so now. Oh, I got to ask Lyndia because I forget to count days and years, but I know it's been at least 10 years, maybe longer than that. Lyndia, how long has it been?
Since 2005, 15 years. When I got my master's in 2005, I wrote to you and called you and asked if I come in.
And that's what they say, that that's about what is it? Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes.
And I'm trying to pull up the page now. I'm sorry I didn't have this right, but it's called The Religion Corner. And Lyndia writes this column every week. And you focus on a lot of things, but you also focus on health. I mean, you're talking about God and religion and inspiration, and all that, but you do focus on health. And I want you to just share a little bit about how this COVID-19 has impacted your message in the Informer.
Yes, Denise. Thank you so much for inviting me today. As readers know, over the years, my mom died on Christmas Day in the year 2000. And so when I graduated from Trinity with my master's, I did my master's thesis on how we should stop fanning the flames of the diabetes epidemic. It was so bad because both her legs were amputated. She had kidney failure. And so she was having dialysis. She had about 10 strokes. She couldn't talk to us. Her tongue got twisted. And it was so amazing because she had been such a special woman, and buses came from all over the place to North Carolina for a funeral. And I heard a lady ask, who was that lady? There's so many people here. She was a special lady. And I know all of us know our moms are special, but I can assure you there's a lot of people that know my mom was special. And we were so devastated, wanting to understand why would this happen. So I did a lot of studying and asking the doctors. And then that's when he began to tell me, before she passed, that diabetes is the result of diet and the lack of exercise. Now, she cleaned all the time. We lived in a big house in Silver Spring, and she would be out there raking the yard, but it's not busy that makes the difference. It's the elevation of your heart rate, and at a certain amount of time, like 30 minutes, that makes a difference. So I just went and became an ambassador at the American Diabetes Association, and talked to people at NIH, and I've been writing about it in my column. I put that 5 to 7 part series in my column every year for at least 7 years, and I write about it I talk about it on my radio show. So
yes.
When I was
tell them what show you're on, Lyndia, because I'm promoting the Informer, but I want to.
It's WYCB Radio 1 1340, Fridays at 6 p.m. And this makes my 10th year. But what I wanted to say is, while I was sitting in the house, and all of a sudden it came on the news maybe a week or two ago about how African Americans are disproportionately dying from COVID and getting the COVID. And the first thing they said was diabetes and high blood pressure and obesity, which are the things that are the major causes. I knew immediately that I was going to start running those columns again, but I was going to change the topic. And this time I call it "My People Perish for the Lack of Knowledge," because it's about knowing. Because even though we had a master's degree, two of my sisters and me, we were knowledgeable in education, and we lived in a beautiful home with a swimming pool. Wasn't about any of that. But we didn't know what we needed to know about health. And so that was why I wanted to share it. And I knew that it was successful because I would get emails and calls from people saying that they wanted to see all of the articles. Every year, people are looking for it because I share research and not just my opinion. I share what I know is true about how they can reduce their A1C, hemoglobin A1C for diabetics, and you can reduce your high blood pressure. So because that's why so many people the African Americans have died from COVID, I knew that I would have to run the same column, but make adjustments to it so that I can include more about COVID and keep in how they can make that change.
Well, that addresses what Council Member Gray just talked about. I mean, we talk about providing health services, we talk about providing health care, but it really, I mean, good health really starts at home. It starts with each one of us individually and understanding and having that information about how we can take care of our bodies. And so I appreciate the fact that you've got this series of articles going now and actually giving our readers advice on how not being godly is also being healthy.
That's right.
As much as possible.
Your body is a temple. That's
right. Right. Well, I want to thank you. You know, my Sherry keeps putting this piece of paper in front of me saying, we got to go, we got to go. Okay. But I want to thank you for taking this time with us. We're going to have you back. And so you be safe.
All right. And thank you, Denise, for having me.
All right. Thank you. Our pleasure.
Bye.